With ACH Universal, you can import transactions directly from your QuickBooks accounts, then easily create and transmit ACH files to your bank. The main purpose of ACH Universal is to help you create ACH files. ACH files are used for processing electronic transactions such as paying employees by direct deposit, collecting from customers, and paying vendors. Connecting ACH Universal to QuickBooks doesn't change the way you already work. Writing checks, entering bills, your processes stay the same. Our software works with all U.S. commercial banks and is fully integrated with QuickBooks. In this video, we'll cover connecting ACH Universal with QuickBooks, creating an ACH file, and finally, managing your transactions with advanced record controls. Before connecting ACH Universal with QuickBooks, please be sure that QuickBooks and ACH Universal are installed on the same machine, and you're logged into QuickBooks as the administrator, you're in single user mode, and only have one QuickBooks company open. After setup is complete, you can return to work in any mode, under any user level. Step 1. Create a new account in ACH Universal. You'll use this account for processing your QuickBooks transactions. Select File, New Account. Create an account is the default option. On the second screen, name your account. I'll name this account Payroll. Select Next and Finish, and your new account will be open. Step 2. Allow ACH Universal to connect to QuickBooks. Select QuickBooks and QuickBooks Integration, and the QuickBooks icon will begin flashing in the taskbar at the bottom of your screen. Select the third option, to allow access whenever this QuickBooks company is open. Select Continue and Done. Your permission settings will be saved and you won't need to repeat this step. Step 3. Use the Integration Wizard to complete your setup. Select Next to start the wizard and your QuickBooks chart of accounts appears in the window. Select the bank account you'll use for your ACH transactions. Typically, this is your main checking account. 3 additional fields will now be created in QuickBooks in each customer, employee, and vendor profile. The 3 fields are bank account number, routing number, and a checking or savings indicator. Congratulations! Your setup is complete. To illustrate how QuickBooks transactions appear in ACH Universal, I'll create 3 transactions: a vendor payment, a direct deposit, and a customer collection. I've already entered the required banking information in my QuickBooks profile, so I'm ready to create my transactions. First, I'll create a vendor payment. I'll use Pay Bills, but you could also use Write Checks. I select Cal Gas and Electric and pay their bill of $137.50. Then, assign check numbers. This is an electronic payment, so I won't print a check. Next, I'll pay an employee. I select Pay Employees, then Unscheduled Payroll. I'll pay Shane a $500 bonus. On the next screen, I select Assign Check Numbers since I'm not printing a check. Then Print Pay Stubs. I can either print or email the stubs. Our third transaction is a customer collection. I select Receive Payments. Adam's Candy Shop owes $159.75. I enter the amount to be collected and use the Deposit To drop-down to select my checking account. Now I'm ready to create an ACH file with my sample transactions. In ACH Universal, select QuickBooks and QuickBooks Integration to open the transaction screen. Think of this screen as a window to your QuickBooks transactions. Select View Transactions to display unprocessed transactions. My 3 sample QuickBooks transactions now appear in the window. As a best practice, always review the totals at the bottom of the screen to verify the amounts and counts. To create the ACH file, I simply select Send Transactions to ACH Universal. In seconds, the file is ready and we're prompted to review it. Notice all 3 transactions, Cal Gas and Electric, Shane's Bonus, and Adam's Candy Shop, are here. Our file is now ready to be transmitted to our bank. Typically, files are sent by web upload or, if your bank permits, by FTP. Treasury software realizes occasionally transactions need to be held or resent. Let's return to our transaction screen for a closer look at our advanced record controls. When I select View Transactions Now, the 3 sample transactions aren't displayed. To avoid duplication, once transactions are sent to ACH Universal, they are logged as transmitted, and by default don't appear again in the transmittal window. If you need to see them, uncheck Hide Transactions Already Processed, and previously transmitted transactions will display. Please note, your transmission logs will always show your ACH transactions. If your company has more than one person using ACH Universal, a SQL multi-user version is needed to show their transactions. With advanced record controls, you can select records to Do Not Send Temporary, Do Not Send Permanent, and Send Override. To resend a transaction, for example if an employee changed banks and didn't notify you, select the record and Send Override. Remember, whatever action is taken in ACH Universal affects payments and collections. Your QuickBooks data is not altered. Up to now we've been creating ACH files for in-house testing. When you're ready to test a file with your bank, select ACH Setup and enter your bank's name, your ABA number, your company name, and your ID number. With this information, you can send a test file to your bank. Please see our other videos and help files to learn more about ACH Universal.